Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're diving into something big. We're talking about how to launch a massive online classifieds marketplace. Like a Dubizzle, but without spending years and an absolute fortune building it from the ground up. So, you've got that big idea, right? A vision for a platform that connects tons of buyers and sellers, builds a whole community, and basically becomes the go-to spot in your region. But let's be real, where do you even start with something that huge? Okay, let's set the stage here. The opportunity is absolutely massive. Online classifieds are just booming, especially in these fast-growing markets across the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. People need one central, trusted place to find everything: jobs, housing, cars, you name it. The demand is definitely there. But that huge demand, well, it creates this massive problem for pretty much every founder. You see the goal, you have the vision, but trying to build it from scratch means you're going to hit a wall of complexity, cost, and time. And that, right there, is the builder's dilemma.
And this right here really lays it all out, the two sides of the coin. On one hand, you've got the dream, right? A massive user base, all these different ways to make money, becoming a true household name. But the reality, well, that can be a brutal journey. We're talking about development costs that can completely sink you before you even launch, timelines that stretch into years while your competitors are just flying by, and a huge, huge risk that the market might have already moved on by the time you're finally ready to go live.
So, how do you get that dream without getting crushed by the reality? Well, that brings us to the smart shortcut. It's a strategy that a ton of successful entrepreneurs are using to get to market way faster and with a whole lot less risk.
It's called a Dubizzle clone script. Now, before you get hung up on the word clone, let's be super clear. This is not about just copying something. Think of it as a pre-built software foundation. It's a strategic starting point that lets you put your time and money into what really matters at the beginning. Marketing, getting users, and actually proving your idea works in the real world.
The best way to think about it is like building a house. Sure, you could hire an architect and a big crew to build a custom home from the ground up, and that's going to take a ton of time and a ton of money. Or you could start with a really high-quality prefabricated model. And this breaks down that process perfectly. So, step one, you get a proven foundation. The plumbing, the wiring, the structure, it's all there, it's already been tested, it works. Then, step two, you customize it. This is where you pick the paint colors, the finishes, the layout. You make it uniquely yours to match your brand and your local market. And step three, you launch in a fraction of the time. It's just that simple. So, if you're on board with the idea, the next big question is, which one do you actually choose? Let's get to the main event and see how the top 5 contenders for 2026 really stack up. All right, this is really the core of what we're talking about today. We've dug in and broken down the top 5 players into these distinct personas, so you can kind of see which one clicks with your specific vision. So up top, you've got Zipper. We're calling him the all-rounder, great for a balanced start. Then there's Triangle, the custom tailor, for when you've got a really specific niche. AppCodes is the monetizer, because it's built with revenue tools from day one. At the really high end, there's AppScript, the enterprise powerhouse. And for those of you just kind of testing the waters, you've got CloneDaddy, the experimenter. So now let's see what all that actually means in practice. Okay, so let's start with Zipper, our all-rounder. What's great about this one is its modular design. That's kind of its superpower. It means you can start lean and then just add more features as you grow. It's a really smart strategic fit if you've got a solid plan and you need a platform that's going to scale right along with your success. Now, what if your strategy is to just completely dominate a very specific niche, like, say, a marketplace just for vintage cameras or sustainable clothing? Well, then you're probably the custom tailor, and you're looking at something like Triangle. They are all about deep customization to build you a totally unique advantage. But yeah, that's going to come with a higher price tag and a bit more time. And then, kind of in a league of its own, you've got AppScript, the enterprise powerhouse. Let's be really clear here. This is not for startups. With a price that starts at $10,000, this is for big, established companies that need a super complex, custom-built solution with heavy-duty everything. Analytics, integrations, constant support. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but for a very different type of user. So, we've seen the options, right? And each one fits a different strategy, a different budget. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important part. Yeah, with all these choices, picking the right one can feel a little overwhelming, but honestly, it really just boils down to a few simple questions that help you align the platform with your specific vision. Here it is, a super simple 3-point checklist to guide you. First, your budget. Be honest with yourself. What can you realistically invest upfront? Second, your scale. Are you launching a small local test, an MVP, or are you planning this massive multi-region platform right from day one? And third, your niche. Do you just need the standard classifieds features, or is your idea so unique that it needs some serious, deep customization? And this right here is the key takeaway. It is so tempting to just look at the price tag, but the smartest move isn't finding the cheapest option, it's about finding the blueprint that truly aligns with your long-term business strategy.
This quote from the source material just says it all perfectly. It's not about the software, it's about the strategy. As soon as you are crystal clear on what your operational goals are, the right choice of platform, it pretty much becomes obvious.
So the technology is out there, the path to launching is way clearer, and the market is definitely waiting. Your idea is ready. The only question left is, are you?